shower renovation specifically. I'm not doing the whole bathroom. Floor, the vanity, everything is staying in here. The shower is getting redone because it is really horribly done. It was done by the homeowner years ago, and it's functional. It has served its purpose, but it is kind of fugly and have a mold and mildew issue going on. For what reason, I'm not really sure, but you know, it's seen its better days. So I'm not going to really get into too much of the tear out. These fake shower pans are fiberglass. I call them plastic. I've never really liked them. I've replaced quite a few of them because when they crack, and all it takes is a small lineal crack to cause water to go downstairs into the ceiling. And then in order to replace this pan, you have to take out at least the bottom row tile. So I'm not really about these type of pans, and it will be a pleasure to get rid of it and put in a real tile shower pan in its place, and that will be forthcoming. And then of course all these tile, the wall comes out. I've got a couple other videos, so I'll probably link down below in the description area on how to cut out. There's no need to cut out the entire wall. I usually cut around the perimeter of the tile going around, and then just pull out the wall material as well as the tile in one fell swoop. Sometimes you get it out in chunks and pieces. I anticipate probably this will be 2 sections. This will be a couple, 3 or 4 sections, and then a couple of sections there to take it out. Once I'm down to the studs, then I can start the prep process and getting this replaced. I want to go over a couple of things with this type of tile. When homeowners, DIYers and stuff like that who have never done tile before, I'm just going to throw some information out your direction so that you'll understand a little bit more about tile and the makeup and how it should be set, etc., etc. Some of this stuff is probably redundant. Some of this stuff you probably already know, but I'm going to go over it anyway for those that don't know. What the heck is that? They put in, looks like gray caulking in that huge gap between the 2 tile. In fact, all of this is gray caulking. These aren't even any type of bullnose. These are just cut tile, and they're cut pretty poorly. They had a very weak blade. You can tell where it's chipped off at the bottom here. So a weak blade will beget a crappy cut. Some of these things. This is a factory edge. If you'll notice, this is a little rounded on the edge. So the factory edge is facing inside of the wall, and the cut edge is on the outside of the wall, which makes no sense. It would, I don't know why people would do it back-assward like that, but the cut edge, both cut edge should meet right here, and they didn't do that. So little things like that. Another thing that I want to talk about on this tile, more to the point, this is a ceramic cheap tile. I imagine they probably spent somewhere between about 89 cents to about maybe $1.10 a square foot on this tile. Why that matters? Okay, where did I see it before? If you'll notice, this edge and that edge of those tile are lined up exactly, but then when you come over to the left, there's a there's a very, very slight gap. This one extends out, if you can see it. This one extends out probably 1/16 of an inch, maybe a little better than that. If I bring my fingernail down, you'll see it's probably 1/8 of an inch. That matters. When you don't spend a lot for tile, you're not going to get a good tile. The tile is not, as they say, rectified. It's not even close to being rectified. So the little 1/16 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch or whatever, when you're trying to do smaller grout lines and you're going up to your second row, then you start really killing yourself trying to line up the tile because it'll never work. It'll just no. Look at this. These 2 tile right there, perfect lined up. And then you go over to the left and look at that. That difference is definitely 1/8 of an inch. So this is the reason you want to spend more on your tile, so that at least you get a quality type of tile. When you do a tile like this, I don't like these huge 1/4 inch grout lines. That's actually probably 1/2 inch there, and then 1/4 inch on other areas. When you do kind of what I call a crappy tile, you're almost relegated to do larger lines so that you can make up the discrepancy. If you were actually trying to line up all the tile, it wouldn't work with a smaller grout line. But with a larger grout line, it kind of all disappears a little bit, except my eye always catches little nuances like that, and it bothers me. So, you know, spend an extra $1 a square foot, spend, you know, $1.90 to about $2.20, $2.40 for a better tile, preferably porcelain. This is ceramic, and that's another reason I don't like it. It's what I call glazed clay. Although they painted the edge, if you looked at this edge, it would be brown, because that's all it is just a clay makeup. I guess they painted this edge too. Well, you can see a little bit of brown right there. So, and there's no bull nose, there's no transition, anything going on. And again, this is a DIY type project, so when they did it, they probably felt really good about it. Wow, I did this on my own, and that's great, and I have no problem with that. But if you want a better looking job, if you want something that's going to be more quality, spend a little bit more on your tile and take your time setting your tile. This tile, although because the tile edges itself are a little rounded or whatever, doesn't really have lippage per se. I mean, there's obvious lippage here, but it kind of is decreased by the fact that the tile is rounded on the edge. But I can tell, look how close they were to the wall. The tile, there's no reason, in fact, it's really ridiculous to ever set your tile literally flat to the wall. My assumption is they use mastic thin set. Even if they didn't back butter the tile, thin set would automatically want to bump it out at least a 1/16, 1/8 of an inch or whatever. And this is literally set inside to the wall, which is why this tile doesn't match up as far as lippage goes. This one sticks out more than this one profoundly, and then these two are kind of matched up. I don't know, it's just inconsistent, and you know, that's what kind of bothers me. Look at that grout line, that's like deep. There's no reason to push the grout that far and then not taper it out. So that's just a little bit of critique on this job. As I said, for a DIY project, you know, years and years ago when this is brand new, I'm sure they were quite proud of themselves and it was functional, and apparently nothing leaked, and now they just want to do an upgrade and want it done right. So that's what I'm here to do. But these are some of the things you should adhere to. There's a lot of mold and mildew that's happened, and I don't know why, because it's almost impossible that they set there. Anytime you have a tub, or in this case a shower base, there is still a lip, and the wallboard should sit on top of the lip, and then the tile overlaps that, so you don't have this mold and mildew issue going on at the bottom. And I cannot see how they could have the tile this flat to the wall and then also a wallboard, unless this is recessed behind. I'm not really sure. When I do the tear out, I'll find out, but just a heads up for you. All this mold and mildew is not growing off of the tile, it's growing off of the wallboard. So a couple of things you're gonna notice on here, they troweled out their thin set, and you can see the squares barely, the squares that match up to these squares over here, but barely, as I said. Most of it is not even touching, and as you can see, they didn't back butter. In fact, you don't even see the trowel marks very much here. That's kind of a big deal, because this was relatively, I was pulling on the wallboard and the tile were popping off before I could get the wallboard pulled away from the studs. And I knew when the tile were popping off so easily that this is what happened. So, you know, how would a DIYer know to back butter a tile in order for it to stay on the wall? It's kind of a big deal. A lot of the DIYers who do stuff like this, that don't watch videos and stuff like, end up making mistakes like this, which could potentially cause problems down the road when settling happens, stuff, tile will literally fall off the wall. Another issue I want to talk about too is mold and mildew that I showed earlier. Oh, by the way, see this glazed clay? This is what I was talking about. So that's all it is, just a cheesy below $1 a square foot tile. The mold and mildew was because there was no, you see on here, there's no waterproofing. Oven in itself is not a big deal. You know, they at least use Durarock, but they didn't waterproof anything, and there was no vapor barrier on the studs. So water had an easy way to get into the back and cause damage. So now you know. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then subscribe. Hit that button and subscribe, and hit the bell. The bell will let you know right away when I post a new video. I make nothing off of YouTube, so please be a Patreon member. I'm going to post a link down below to my Patreon account, and you can donate $1, $5, $10, $20 a month. Just pledge that on a monthly basis. That will help me produce more videos and content so that you can watch and learn from my channel. And by the way, if you're going to call me, please, up there at the top of my channel where you see that picture up there, on the right hand corner, there's a P, which is for PayPal. Hit that PayPal link and donate at least $50 if you're gonna call. If you're gonna call for advice, donate to my PayPal, please. Donate first, and then feel free to call me or email me for advice. Otherwise, business calls only, please.